Hello, UMass. I'm your interim host, Jake Liberty, replacing Mr. Brendan Hofstess as it's amateur week here on UMass Yak Back. Tonight we have three great segments to talk about. We talk about a 92-year-old man who may or may not have panicked a little too much when backing out of the spot he had in the parking lot. Then we were talking about the UMass concert that is trying to keep kids away from Blarney and see how UMass feels about that. And finally, someone said it. Here we have a guest to talk about the intervention of Honey Boo Boo. Stay tuned, sit back, relax, and enjoy Yak Back. Welcome back to Yak Back. I'm your host, Jake Liberty, and tonight we'll be talking about the 92-year-old man hitting cars as he backed out of a spot. To talk about it, we have Oren, Allie, and Keenan. Oren, tell me a little bit about what happened here.
Okay, I'm not too sure on the details, but from what I understand is that there was a 92-year-old man in Massachusetts parked in the parking lot, and he was like, "I'm done here. I can't do this anymore." Puts his car into reverse, backs out a bit, hits a car, panics, pulls forward, hits another car, and panics like I would do. Backs up again, hits a third car, and when he tries to drive away, he hits a car at an intersection. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 senile driving. It's just, I don't know what else to describe it as.
I think that's a great description. There's been a lot of problems with, old people on the roads and the dangers that they may cause. Allie, how do you feel about this?
I think that it's a problem for some old people, and it's a problem for it's not a problem for other elderly people, so it's like wrong to assume that we should like keep them from driving. I think that maybe like every 10 years people should get another driving test, and then maybe that number should be decreased once you turn like 70. I mean, I know like my Nana had cataracts. She was driving. That was kind of scary. Maybe that shouldn't be happening.
I imagine. Yeah, no, definitely not. My grandmother never drove, so I never had that risk. But I did drive with my papa, and he drives pretty close to the cars. Keenan, have you ever had an issue with another elderly driver?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've never personally dealt with running into an elderly person, thankfully. But my grandfather, God bless his soul, great guy, but definitely should not be on the road, Thankfully, my grandma realized that and kind of took over. She drives for him now, but for a solid, 3 or 4 years, he was, picking me up from the bus stop. And that's not even, that far of a drive. But he definitely should not have even been doing that, because driving just way too fast, he only had one eye to begin with, so.
You just snuck that in at the end of it.
One eye. He got one of his eyes shot out with an arrow by a neighborhood kid when he was
I feel like that would be one of the first
old.
details to hear.
Yeah, right.
Just at the end.
So
whoa.
That's something you lead off with. Yeah. First of all, disclaimer, my grandfather.
Well, the glass eye, you don't really notice, You get used
Yeah.
to it, It's not, I don't really notice it anymore,
Well, at least they were all okay. But I mean, even younger people have tough driving records. I mean, I know myself, it's been pretty tough. Oren, have you had any tough driving record problems?
Personally, not really. When I first started driving, I really didn't know how to do it, and I never really was taught. My parents were like, "Yeah, just go ahead, take the car. We won't even be in the car with you. You can just borrow it, see what happens," which is a horrible idea. And within backing out of my driveway, I ended up just cracking the back bumper of my car in a snowbank. So that was a rough start. First time ever being behind the wheel of the car, just destroyed the back bumper.
Oh, God.
But other
Classic.
than that, I've been okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Keeping the streets safe.
I'm not a reckless driver. I'm an offensive driver.
I'll take that.
Because I'm from New York, close to the city, so
right.
To deal with New York drivers, you have to be aggressive and try and get into lanes. And
Yeah. So the offensive.
yeah, birds are flipped. But
It happens.
yeah.
It happens. Keenan, what about you?
Honestly, I've just. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
if you've had any like troubled like driving records or any crashes.
I've honestly flipped a car myself this past summer, and it wasn't even my fault. It was another team that was coming around the turn and just cut right into my lane. Ended up having to cut it right into the wall and flip 3 times, skidded across the road, smashed the mirror out, the window out with my head, and then both airbags deployed, and I was completely fine, but the car was completely totaled. Yeah, that was 3 days before I left for college. So I mean, even just like the risk in that, it wasn't my fault, but you know, you still just got to be prepared for whatever's coming on the road, you know?
Yeah, that's incredible that you made it out without a scratch. That's awesome. I'm still like, my mind. I crawled out fine. Well,
I just had like a bump in my head.
Yeah.
The cop drove me home. He's like, I don't know how you're okay, but here you go.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we were talking before the show, and I know Allie said some comments that she she might rival the worst driving record. Allie, let's hear some of your tales.
First time I drove, I was driving through the cemetery and I was really nervous, but my dad thought it'd be funny to trick me into getting onto the road. So he was like, take a left, then a right. I was on the road, and then I drove onto a landscaped rotary, and the car was stuck there for a little while. We pushed it back out. Then I got my own car. I bought it for $400, and I proceeded to total it by rear-ending my homeroom teacher on the way to high school. And then I hit my mom's car into a dumpster. And then this past summer, I hit a car with a small child in it. Like there was nothing. I couldn't see them, and I was going to turn, and then I couldn't see them, and then they just sped by, and I kind of T-boned the car, and I'm not on the insurance anymore. Don't worry, everyone. Not on the roads. But yeah, by far the worst driver I know.
I might be able to beat you there.
I mean, I guess the moral of this segment is that young or old, you got to drive safe to be safe. UMass, take that into consideration. Up next, we'll be talking about the UMass concert in replace of Blarney and see what UMass has to say. Stick around. Welcome back, UMass. Up next, we're going to be talking about the UMass free concert in place of Blarney. Here to talk about it, we have Rob, my Jedi Master himself, Brendan, and our lovely producer behind the scenes, the star of the show, Brady. So, who better to ask about UMass's opinion than the eldest of the school? These 3 seniors have seen it all through Blarney. They've survived 3 years, and they're hoping for a good last one. What do you guys think about this concert?
Well, I am really sad Fall Out Boy can't come anymore, because that's what really sold me. Because Kesha's cool.
Who's doing it again?
Kesha, Fall Out Boy, and Juicy J, who I don't give a shit about. So, Kesha's pretty cool. They don't have a third artist yet.
Yeah, because Fall Out Boy canceled,
But
so I'm not going.
I think it said it was at 11 a.m. So I think I could go then leave to go to Blarney. I don't know.
Isn't Blarney over at noon or
Yeah,
something?
it
gets
goes
broken
from
up.
I heard
It
the
goes
show
in
is-
waves. Who knows?
I'd say last year it ended about 3 or 4.
You
yeah,
can go to
that's when I
Blarney
stepped in.
and then go to the concert.
Well, I think it's a nice attempt, and it's probably the best attempt that UMass has had for a while. I feel like they're definitely giving, at least I wouldn't say they're gonna get most of the kids, or I wouldn't say they're gonna stop Blarney from happening at the townhouses, but I do think maybe some of the more tame students, the calmer students, would prefer the concert, and they'll be the ones to go. And then probably all the craziness from the populace will go elsewhere and still cause havoc. But I also think if they try to contain all of Blarney into the Mullen Center, then it'll come crumbling down for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they try these things all the time. It seems as if students are, they're going to go to both, if not definitely Blarney. It's the UMass thing, and this year they banned guest. So it's just, a UMass community. I think it'll be much safer than last year. Cumble's watching. And, I think that's a good effort. Brady, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good gesture. Like offering students like a fun alternative that's free instead of just like sending the SWAT team in. But I guess it's also kind of seems like a distraction, I guess, from like the other stuff that they're doing already. Didn't they hire someone? I heard that they hired a specialist
For what?
for security.
Yeah, what kind of specialist?
You have to be specific.
A specialist.
Like a
Just one guy in charge of the
I don't-
installing new security
I
systems?
don't know.
Is that a thing?
Or they like specialize in like big events, like
What
such
they,
as Blarney.
What they did with the big tailgate at the beginning of this year, where they were just like state police who did
Genius. Genius.
Fine.
Trash cans everywhere. 'Cause
Yeah, we just need trash cans, guys.
Oh yeah.
trash
That's what I
cans and traffic cones, and like I think we're good.
The second tailgate, they had the cart going around with the barrels in them. So, I mean, it's going to happen anyways. Kids are going to drink. It's college. You're going to have a, fun time, only if you're of age. And, you just got to go with it, I guess. But, a lot of students are wondering, why hire these three, big name artists for the free concert just to get kids away from Blarney, which isn't going to work, instead of just getting them for a spring concert and actually profiting?
I don't know if they're gonna be. I don't know about Juicy J, but I don't think they'll be paying too much for Kesha, to be quite honest.
You don't think so?
I think she has
She's great.
I think she
like a
is.
big following.
I think
Kesha.
in terms of like normal celebrities, though, she's not gonna be like the most expensive.
Well, true. I mean, her music is different. It's not. I think if you put a remix to it, I think that get more of a crowd there.
So
Bumper
her
Remix. You're
music-
telling me Timber isn't catchy? Timber's amazing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Well, that's true.
Timber.
Yeah, but the chorus is where it's at. Really? Pitbull's kind of like at least he sings. DJ
I
Khaled.
like Pitbull.
People's like, dale, and he just like jumps on it. I just can't stand Pitbull.
It's kind of like Sean Paul. No one knows what he's saying. But
Sean
Paul's
Sean
awesome.
Paul's
Sean Paul.
great.
Yeah. What's
Sean
he up
Paul's
to
great.
these days?
He
Brady,
cut off
do you
his
know?
he cut off his braids. He has.
Cut off his
Not
braids?
since temperature.
That's
I don't know.
No, I mean
Great song.
That was like
Classic.
11 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Really like freshman year.
Yeah, I don't know it either, but the music video is very provocative. I remember that.
I'm thinking we might have to get Sean Paul here for the spring concert if this is what.
Shut up, Al. Where are you?
He got the call out. Sean Paul, if you're watching, which I, 90% sure you are. There he is. Rob, he wants you here. UMass wants it. So, you got to stop by. But, I mean, back to the regular track about this concert. We went far. I've only experienced, one Blarney. And it was last year, and that got a lot of bad publicity.
I was out of the country for that, so I was not here. I was in Italy when that went
Well, you got lucky. Could have gotten arrested, which most of the students who got arrested didn't even go here.
Yeah,
Which is
definitely
understandable
like
with the
last
rule.
year, especially from being such a large human being, like if your head was above, that's who people were trying to throw bottles at. Like if they could see your head, that's a target.
Yeah,
I
and
definitely saw
snowballs,
like
too.
bottles and cans fly by my head. I was like, all right. I spent 20 minutes there and I just left. But the funny thing is, as I was trying to leave, I was walking down. I think it was Fearing, and that was like the 5-man SWAT team. And they're like, go back where you came from. And I was like, I just came from the. They wanted me to go back. So like,
Oh, okay. Just walked right by them with
Oh.
a backpack. Yeah. Brady, what was your favorite Blarney when you look back at the best?
I have yet to make it.
Oh.
I tried last year, but SWAT caught me.
Right away.
Yeah.
Your
I
one
was like, I'm
attempt.
just trying to go to my friend's house. They're like, no. And I don't know where I went after that. There was some party someplace.
Was Cheryl out, or was Cheryl there?
No.
Or was it you?
Anyway.
It was definitely
Do you hope to attend this year's Blarney?
Yeah, and like I live in Pumpton now, so.
Oh, so you're right in the
Yeah.
heart of the action.
Yep.
All right. Well, you three, it was wonderful hearing your wise and elder advice on this year's Blarney and the concert. Up next, again, finally someone said it. They held an intervention for Honey Boo Boos. So we'll have some of our finest cast members talking about their health issues and what needs to be done. Thank you. Stay tuned. And welcome back, UMass, for our final segment to talk about the lovable and or hateable Honey Boo Boo, who won the hearts, or lost them, of America just by being a big child. Here to talk about it, we have Julian, Bridie returning for a second segment in a row, and Dan. Now, Dan, I know you were just watching the video. Tell me a little bit about, so the audience can picture Honey Boo Boo if they don't.
Okay, so she's a little 9-year-old girl, and unfortunately she's 4'6" and 125 pounds. And what that kind of means is that she weighs twice what the normal 9-year-old of that height should be. So whereas she should be 65 pounds, she's actually 125 pounds. And the doctors want her to lose like 12 to 25 pounds because she's a little overweight.
Only 12 to 25? That's just going to put her at 100. That's still 40 pounds
I
overweight.
mean, then she can work down from there, but like she's only 9.
Do they have her on a food plan? Julian, do you know anything about this intervention?
They didn't have her on a plan until recently when they had her, instead of eating fried chicken, she now eats chicken covered in oats, which I guess is a lot healthier.
Sounds so weird.
I guess it would taste kind of dry compared to the regular fried chicken, but she's getting healthier. Instead of eating mac and cheese, chocolate, candy, probably chocolate cake also.
Well, I mean, at least she's eating somewhat healthier. It's a start for her. But I mean, what's going to happen to the show? Bridie, are you a fan of the show? Here Comes Honey Boo Boo?
No.
You're not?
No. No.
Do you know
I don't.
Honey Boo Boo at all?
I do, and I don't think that she's going to take to the healthy eating habits. Like, I don't think that her mom has any control over her. I think that they need to hire, was that show Nightmare Nanny or something? Or
Nanny 911.
Yeah.
Nanny. Wow, that
Nanny
show's brutal.
911.
Watched it a few times with my
I think
mom.
they might need to hire one of those nannies
They
to
definitely
get
need
her
to
to
hire
eat well.
like someone to cook for them and to plan all the meals
Yeah.
and like do exercise, because like what 9-year-old wants to be told, hey, you can't eat chocolate cake and
Every
all this crap? No, they don't
is
want
told
to be
that.
told it.
Yeah, but
Like she's not going to listen unless there's someone cooking all the food. It's like, here, this is what you're eating.
They
You
should
can't
go
have
with the
this.
well, her
She's
mom.
one of the biggest loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Do they have a children's version?
No, because
They
that's like
Yeah, that's
bad.
that
You
could
can't
probably
just
be really
film
bad
that
for their
TV,
health.
But she's like already on her own show.
Well, they have that kids cooking show
Oh
as well.
yeah.
MasterChef Junior.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
I've never seen. I saw a little
Really
bit of MasterChef, but I've never seen the junior. I don't know how kids. I mean, they're putting
They're
kids
really
through
good.
these tough programs.
No, they're better
lately.
cooks than us.
Really?
Yeah, they're
Well, that's
scary.
impressive.
Than us.
I'm pretty sure they canceled Here Comes Honey Boo Boo.
They canceled it.
I think it's canceled, yeah.
Well, I mean, good riddance. It wasn't. They just had a dirty house, and they just filmed inside the house, and I just think that that's garbage if that's what TV is going to be right now. Yes, I was discussing it with one of our cameramen now, Brendan. Beforehand, you know, he was pretty upset that there's these different shows such as Dance Moms who are, you know, this woman's yelling at kids, and I don't know, it can really, reality TV's taken a big downfall from what it used to be with Next and the other shows, Room Raiders. Those were great shows. But yeah. But back to, I don't even remember what the start. Honey Boo Boo, right? We were far off track.
What's her real name?
Alana. I don't know where it is.
Immediately knew
Yeah,
that.
I know a lot about
A
Honey
lot
Boo
of
Boo.
people will say that, it really comes down to the parenting in this situation. And I don't really know anything more than besides that her mom is also very large. Does she have a bigger family as well? Any siblings or
Oh
something?
yeah, she's got like a few siblings. Then one of her older sisters has a child, I think, or was pregnant, something like that.
Are they also big?
They're not as big as the mom or like Honey Boo Boo, but they're like overweight.
Well, I think the mom probably just decided to take the youngest and mold her like herself.
Mold her into a little fat girl.
Yeah. I mean, she's letting her eat all these sweets. I remember back then I wasn't even allowed to drink soda.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I couldn't have any sugars, any sweets. I didn't get Fruit Loops in my house until it was freshman year of high school.
You were
I was-
deprived.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had Rice Krispies. I just put a lot of sugar on those. My dad showed me that trick. But I mean, still, I would never. They wouldn't allow me to eat all these things to get to what 2 times my weight.
Right, like it's
She's
definitely the mom has
65?
to do something about what she's eating and
Maybe her mom
how that's going
Just
to
secretly plumping
happen.
her up.
What if it's all a plan? Oh, conspiracy theory to get back on TV.
On TV.
Yeah, like
It could
Gonna
be.
end up on the show Half Ton Kid.
is that a show?
Yeah, they have like half ton mom, half ton dad, half ton kid.
I mean, it could
And they
just be
weigh
like,
like 600,
instead of
700,
here
800.
comes,
Whoa.
here comes Honey Boo Boo, there goes Honey Boo Boo, and that's her losing all her weight. That would be a really
Yeah.
great. I'm actually gonna
They have to like
market
cut
That
the
would be
door
good.
frame out.
I'm sure those
to
producers watch it,
get
so I'm
the-
sure
Yeah,
they,
TLC, I'm coming for you.
It's a great show, great station.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's just that you're finally putting her on a plan, which is good. And hopefully the mother, starts thinking as well that she can't be plumping up her daughter. What her daughter's going to do when she, hits 18? She starts to hit, puberty. She's going to plump up.
I mean,
She's already
knows.
pretty plump.
Yeah,
What did she get? She got famous for the truffle shuffle. Were you saying earlier?
she was
Someone
on
saying that.
Toddlers and Tiaras. and
Yeah.
so she was just like, she wasn't as fat then because it was like a few years ago, and she got her own spin-off show. And that's what
Just-
she,
Well, that
Just
show's
her.
weird in general.
Oh,
I've never
yeah.
watched it, but I just don't like the concept.
Mhm.
But I mean, apparently if she can get her start from that, she's more famous than I'll ever be. So, it's tough. I mean, if she can get her start from just sticking out her stomach, the judges like that. I feel like that's not what that pageant's about.
I think she probably got the show because she wasn't like a typical beauty queen or whatever.
she was unique.
Yeah, she didn't
It's
look
interesting
like.
to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could definitely sell a show around her, and that was like the appeal.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the father? Does he have any say in her
They're,
eating habits?
they didn't have her mom's dating another man for
Or dating
a
one.
really long
Oh,
time, but
yeah.
they weren't together. Like they weren't married.
So he's just, the
I think
boyfriend's
they
just
got
kind of
married
cruising.
on the show.
So he's just kind of cruising by in this.
I'm trying to remember. I know that. So Alana didn't have a dad before, or there wasn't a dad in the picture. Then she started dating. The mom started dating another man. And then they got married. And then I think they got divorced. Now she's dating a different person.
The whole honey boo boo.
Oh yeah, the person she's dating is like a registered sex offender.
That's why the show got canceled.
Oh yeah.
Really? A very weird way to end it, but I mean, we're going to have to cut it off there. Guys, it was awesome to have you on this segment. Love talking about Honey Boo Boo. Not really, but I can get by. UMass, that's all we have for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that I did a good job in place of, again, my Jedi Master Brendan, who will be returning next week in this chair. And hopefully next year I'll be following in his footsteps. UMass, have a great night, and thanks for watching. Yak back, we're out. No.
Ready dance. Dance it out.